The opening scene starts with a close-up of the protagonist's skin, zooming out to reveal him with a gun in his mouth. Our narrator looks down the barrel of a gun in his mouth, held by Tyler, who counts down to ground zero. Tyler asks if the narrator has anything to say. He says he can't think of anything. Tyler looks out the high-rise window at the dark city below. The narrator remembers how he met Tyler and starts telling us the story from the beginning. The narrator hasn't slept for 6 months. His job as a traveling product recall specialist makes his insomnia worse. He admits he's a slave to consumerism. He asks his doctor for help, but the doctor suggests visiting a support group for testicular cancer to see real pain. At the group, he meets Robert Bob Paulson, who hugs the narrator, helping him sleep. The narrator becomes addicted to support groups, pretending to have various illnesses. When Marla Singer shows up, his routine is disrupted. Her presence bothers him so much that he can't sleep anymore. After one meeting, the narrator confronts Marla. Instead of exposing each other, they agree to split up the week and exchange numbers. Despite this, the narrator's insomnia persists. On a flight back from a business trip, the narrator meets Tyler Durden, a soap salesman. At the baggage claim, the narrator finds out his suitcase was confiscated. He takes a taxi home but discovers that his condo was destroyed by an explosion. With nowhere to go, the narrator calls Tyler. They meet at a bar and have a few beers. While the narrator complains about losing his possessions, Tyler talks about avoiding materialism. In the bar's parking lot, Tyler asks the narrator to hit him as hard as he can. Confused, the narrator agrees, and they have a fist fight. The experience is surprisingly euphoric. The narrator then goes with Tyler to his rundown house. Tyler and the narrator continue to fight behind the bar, and soon, other tough guys start noticing. Tyler sets up a formal fight club in the basement of the bar. Membership quickly increases, and Tyler and the narrator create a set of rules, with the first two being the same. You do not talk about Fight Club. When she overdoses on Xanax, she calls the narrator. Tired of her talking, he sets the phone down without hanging up. Later, he finds out that Tyler picked up the phone, went to Marla's place, and brought her back to his house where they had sex, which disgusts the narrator. The next morning, Marla finds the narrator in the kitchen, and he's shocked to see her in his house. She feels insulted by his surprise and leaves in disgust. After she leaves, Tyler tells the narrator that he and Marla had sex the night before. He then makes the narrator promise never to mention him to Marla. Tyler steals human fat from a liposuction clinic dumpster, saying the best fat for making soap comes from humans. Back in the kitchen, Tyler shows the narrator how to make tallow from the fat. Tyler kisses the narrator's hand and pours lye on it, causing a severe chemical burn. Tyler makes the narrator promise allegiance to him before neutralizing the burn with vinegar. The original Fight Club keeps growing, so Tyler changes its focus. New members must stand on the porch for 3 days without food, water, or encouragement before they can join. They must also endure insults and hazing from current members and shave their heads once accepted. Tyler calls them space monkeys. He has them refurbish the house and do chores. Tyler holds a college dropout at gunpoint, threatening to kill him if he doesn't pursue his dream of becoming a veterinarian. Tyler lets Lou, the bar owner, beat him badly before demanding to keep using the basement. Lou agrees. Tyler gives the club members a homework assignment: pick a fight with a stranger and lose. Tyler and the narrator keep running Fight Club, but now less frequently. The narrator confronts his boss at work about poor practices and negotiates to work from home with higher pay to stay quiet. When his boss calls security, the narrator beats himself up, so it looks like his boss attacked him. Tyler's idea becomes Project Mayhem, and the basement fights turn into acts of vandalism and destruction. Though noticed, Tyler shows the police chief that the people they're hunting are those they rely on, like waiters and bus drivers. They threaten the police chief with castration, stopping the investigation. As Project Mayhem grows, the narrator feels distant from Tyler and becomes jealous. He beats up a recruit because he wants to destroy something beautiful. After this, Tyler drives the narrator and 2 members in a car. In the rain, Tyler taunts the narrator, saying he hasn't lived to his full potential. When the car drifts into traffic and the narrator grabs the wheel, Tyler scolds him for being weak. Tyler admits he destroyed the narrator's apartment. The narrator finally gives in, and Tyler lets the car crash into another vehicle. They survive, and Tyler says the narrator has a new life after a near-death experience. When Tyler disappears, the narrator is left with more Mayhem members who watch TV and laugh at their acts. Bob is later killed during a failed sabotage mission, and the narrator tries to stop the group before things get worse. He looks for Tyler and finds a list of phone numbers Tyler used. The narrator follows the list across the country, discovering fight clubs everywhere. At one bar, the bartender calls the narrator's sir," prompting him to ask if they know each other. After assuring the bartender it's not a test, the bartender reveals the narrator is Tyler Durden. Shocked, the narrator returns to his hotel and calls Marla, asking if they've had sex. Annoyed, Marla confirms and calls him Tyler Durden. Marla hangs up and Tyler appears, confronting the narrator about breaking his promise not to mention him to Marla. They talk, and the narrator realizes they are the same person. His insomnia causes Tyler to take over when he thinks he's sleeping. The narrator faints from the revelation. When he wakes up, he finds another phone list with calls from across the country. Returning home, the narrator finds it empty except for a bulletin board with folders detailing buildings in the financial district. He learns Project Mayhem plans to destroy them to erase credit card records. Panicked, he takes the information to the police. After telling the inspector everything, the narrator is left with two officers who reveal they are Mayhem members. They say they were told to take the balls of anyone interfering with Project Mayhem, including him. The narrator escapes by stealing an officer's gun and runs to a building set for demolition. He finds a van with nitroglycerin and tries to disarm the bomb. Tyler appears and taunts him, but the narrator disarms it. They fight, which looks odd on surveillance cameras since the narrator is fighting himself. Tyler wins and reactivates the bomb, bringing the narrator to another building to watch the destruction. Back at the opening scene, the narrator, with the gun in his mouth, mumbles, "I still can't think of anything." Tyler smiles and says, flashback humor. The narrator begs Tyler to abandon the plan, but Tyler insists he's saving humanity from consumerism and that there won't be casualties as all workers in the buildings are Mayhem members. At his breaking point, the narrator realizes he can do whatever Tyler does. Seeing Tyler with the gun, he understands it's in his own hand. He puts it to his chin and tells Tyler to listen. He says his eyes are open, then shoots himself. The bullet exits his jaw, and Tyler is killed, with a wound to the back of his head. As the narrator recovers, Project Mayhem members arrive with snacks and Marla, as Tyler had instructed. Seeing Tyler's wounds, the members leave to get medical supplies. The narrator stands with Marla, telling her everything will be fine as the first building explodes. The others soon follow, and the narrator holds Marla's hand, saying, "You met me at a very strange time in my life." They watch as the buildings collapse.